Shannon, we're going to drop into the chat a bit.ly, which is the bit.ly that you'll need to link you to this presentation. So you can have that for your reference later. There's also a sign-in form. You don't have to do that sign-in form right now, but it's just a quick Google form to let us know who was here. Okay? And then you're welcome to go ahead and join the presentation, or you can just watch my screen. And then you'll have that presentation for references, and there's some video links and things on there. Okay. So I am Wanda Buckner, and I am the blended learning coach for Candler, Hominy Valley, Pisgah, and Sandhill Venable.
And I'm Janet Frazier, and I'm the Instructional Technology and Media Systems Facilitator, which is a long name to say that I work with the blended learning coaches and the media coordinators. And Shannon, which school are you at? Oh, wonderful. Yes, yes. And she's, oh, and she's amazing. So that's good.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So our learning targets today are going to be, we're going to focus on the portrait of a graduate, personal responsibility. We're going to define the term, define and create a shared understanding of personal responsibility with a main focus on copyright today. We're going to explore and empower teachers to model personal responsibility in the classroom to support their students. So, Shannon, what word comes to mind when you think about personal responsibility in the classroom? I would agree with that.
That's good.
I think integrity, which
Yes.
is doing the right thing.
Honesty. Yes.
Yes.
No, I
Yes.
think
No,
those are
that's
all good and they all fit well together. And just as a side note, what we thought about as we were looking at Portrait of Graduate Skills and all of our trainings that we've done this year, all of our professional development have been surrounding the different facets of Portrait of a Graduate. And so Wanda and I were the personal responsibility folks. And so we really just felt like, and I'm going to give most of the credit to Wanda on this one, but we really wanted to focus on that personal responsibility of copyright and how we handle that, or specifically how students handle that in the classroom and how we can help them to handle that correctly and appropriately and with fidelity. And Wanda is going to share about the personal responsibility I can statements that DPI shares with us.
okay. When you get this, when you log into this, all of these are the I can statements that come straight from DPI.
And you'll have to actually,
Is that not sharing that?
no, you have to share this tab instead. There you go.
There it goes. Okay.
There it is.
There it is. Okay. So this just happens to be, this is K2, but all of the grade levels are there. So no matter what grade level you work with, they're there. They couldn't have laid it out any better. It's really simple. Just click on whatever grade level you are looking for.
And you said you work with EC? Oh, wonderful. Yeah. And so that's what I was thinking as Wanda was talking about the different grade levels being available. It may be that some of the, you may want to pick and choose from the grade levels for the ones that are most appropriate for your students.
Yeah.
Sure. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah. But your links are there. So any grade level that you would need would be there for you. Okay. And 12. Okay. There we go. All right. Um, I think this is yours.
This is me. All right. And so DPI does share in their portrait of a graduate information that these soft skills are necessary for our students as they graduate. We want them to be able to adhere to the core values that are evident in the choices and actions that they make, which adhering to copyright and citing sources is a very large part of those correct choices that we want them to make. We want them to earn trust and respect through these honest behaviors, honoring commitments, which is a large part of copyright, and that's what all of that is about. Recognizing their own personal decisions and how it impacts them, but also how it impacts others, taking ownership of their decisions, and then demonstrating self control and composure. And so, again, just thinking about how all of these relate to copyright. And we're going to go a little more specific, even with copyright, and look at images. And so, as we think about students who are working on projects, who are working on reports, who are working on research, and they say, well, what images can I use? Or they may not even ask that. They may just use images. So, our job as educators is to, number one, model for them what they can use, but then also to teach them what images that they can use. And so there are images that are known as public domain. And, often we see that copyright symbol that's on this slide, and that should always be a red flag of sorts for us, but, a clue that we say, okay, this is something I need to look into a little more deeply. So as we look into that a little more deeply, then there are these four categories are what we kind of wanted to touch on today. Some are considered public domain. And so if a image is labeled public domain, then we know that that one is okay to use. Even with it being public domain, I think it's a good idea for them to cite a source just as a courtesy. And again, building up that commitment and that honesty and that integrity. If we're looking for something that is no copyright attached to it, then we can actually generate images with AI. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. If material is 100 years or older, and so a lot of our primary resources are going to fall into this category if they're older works, but also pictures and documents that are published before 1924. Most of those, and we always say most because there's always an exception, but most of those are going to be able to be freely used in work. And then we can also look at Creative Commons licenses. And so we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about these. So this one, let's see, what slide are we on? Wanda, can you tell what
This is, I think this is 11.
Okay. So material that is 100 years or older, we said, is usually copyright free because the copyright has expired. And so if you're not sure about an age of a particular piece of work, a picture, a photograph, you can always check with the publisher or the owner to verify the age of it to make sure that it is copyright free because of the age. And then public domain sites. Each of these, when you are in this, are actually hyperlinked. So the Library of Congress has got a portion of its site that is royalty free or free to use public site that has images and documents on it. Flickr, which has a public domain portion, has got a lot of images on it that are available to use, and most of them will be either in a portion of the site that is considered public domain, or they will be labeled that you're free to use it. Creative Commons is probably the one that I use the most, and I like Creative Commons because it clearly delineates what licenses that each picture has. And so it may be you're free to use in any way you want to, or it may be you're free to use if you cite the source, or it may be that you're free to take this one, you can edit it any way you want to, and then you can use it. So it is good about giving the specifics about those. And so that's a good place to go to get images. And then the National Archives have a portion of their site that also have the free to use public images and documents there. So again, all of these are hyperlinked. You can go directly to these from the slideshow and explore, especially if you're looking for specifics. And this is also a good place for our students to go to. Another place that our students can go is it used to be NC Al, and my brain's blanking out. The Britannica
Yeah, yes,
in the in Clever.
yeah.
So Britannica is another good place that our students can go looking for resources.
Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about creating your own image using artificial intelligence or AI. When you get this presentation, if you click in this right here, you're going to get a step-by-step video on how to use your Canva account, and you can create your own image however you want it to look. It can You can type in anything. You can type in I used the example of a Bernese Mountain Dog wearing sunglasses, and it produced a picture of a Bernese Mountain Dog wearing sunglasses, laying down, standing up, walking. So it creates a number of images that fit the criteria that you give it. So I urge you to check that out. It's really easy to use, and like I said, there's a video that's step by step how to use that.
And educators all have a free Canva account.
Yes.
We have the what do you call um, a higher level
Like
account. I can't think.
the premium. We have the
Premium. Thank
premium
you.
account.
Premium.
Yes. Yes, we have a premium
Hard word.
account. Okay, so this is probably one of the most common that your students will use. It's the Google Creative Commons license tool. When you click on Google and you go to, there's a video here as well. When you click on Google and you go to images, you'll see a word that says tools. You'll click on that tools. It'll open up a drop down, and it'll say trademarked, it'll say commons license, and those that are common use license, you can use those however you want to. But you need to make sure that they click those. And again, there's a video here that shows you step by step how to do that.
And that step by step video, I like the fact that you put that in there because it just walks you through all the steps perfectly. It's a great resource for our students, and it still is going to be filtered by our school filters, which is a
Yes,
good thing as
yes.
well.
And you can absolutely feel free to share that video with your students because they need
That's
to
great.
know that as well. So
Yeah,
once you use it a time or two and you're familiar with it, I would encourage you to show it to your students and say, this is how you can find, video images and videos that you can use.
right. Okay, so they're citing the source where they're getting it from? Oh, okay. Okay, right, right,
Yes.
right, right. There probably is a technical way to use the metadata to go back and figure out exactly precisely where it came from. Um, I would, maybe have that discussion with the students and let them know the appropriate way to handle this. And if they know where they got it, maybe they just put on a document in their portfolio where the photographs came from and they could cite those there, but really not without a more technical process. I think it would just, yes, I
Yes,
think it would be pretty technical. Um,
to do.
yes. So I think asking them, and then that also gives you a good reason to have that discussion with them. So, yeah,
And that, now that you know all this, it's going to be easier for you to share that
sure.
video. It's going to be easier for them to, let's just Woody Woodpecker comes to mind. Let's say they could go and they could create their own image of Woody Woodpecker flying from a tree or something. And if they're using artificial intelligence to create their own, then it is royalty and copyright free.
That's
That's
great.
good. That's good. Questions about Google Images? Like I said, that it's step by step. All these videos are step by step, and I'll be happy to share them with you right now if you want to watch them with us. But I felt like it's easier for you to do it on your own when you can pause it the way you want to. Okay. All right. Um, and as always, if you have any questions or you need any help, I know Kendra is excellent. She is outstanding. So she is there for you to help you and support you. If you have a question about the videos or anything in this presentation, feel free to reach out to me or to Janet. Our information is on that first slide. And we will be happy to help you. And I know Kendra will as well. So
Yeah, is there anything else that we can talk through with you today? I feel like more of what you would actually need right now would be going forward, knowing where these copyright free and royalty free pictures are, but also just the fact that they do need to be cited if they're not royalty free. And, if you've got a way that you're citing sources, that's probably going to be your best friend right now is just
yes.
citing the sources. So, yeah. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, right, right. Yes,
Yes.
sure, sure.
And I encourage you to try Canva. Go into your Canva account. I don't know how familiar you are with it, but the video makes it really easy. Get in there and just go in there and create an image that you think, you're talking about a celebrity. Create an image and it's yours when you've created it. So have fun with it and enjoy it.
Hmm. Oh, good. Right.
Yeah, good. Oh, you're fine. We
Here,
we are
I'll go
there
ahead
at
and
questions. That's where we are
I'm
right
going to
now.
stop the recording.